She's 5-year-old kid. She's so annoying. She's crying a lot. If you don't kill her, I'll kill her. And they killed her.
Today's guest is Suzan Khairi.
Our girls were captured and raped, and they called them Sabaya.
For centuries, you have been persecuted.
Our community were subjected to brutal crimes such as genocide.
She is a Yazidi author whose life and work have been deeply shaped by the genocide.
Yazidis are known for their resilience and also being a very peaceful group, religious group. Our kids, after kidnapping them, they teach them how to kill their own people. She was a German ISIS member.
They were not just men, they were also women that committed crime. How did it feel seeing that ISIS members come also from Europe, Northern America? Welcome to Not Silent Podcast. Before today's conversation, it's important to understand the context. The Yazidis are an Asian religious and ethnic minority primarily from northern Iraq, especially from the Sinjar region. Their faith predates Islam and Christianity, and because of this, Yazidis have faced centuries of persecution. In August 2014, the terrorist organization ISIS committed genocide against the Yazidi people. ISIS, which emerged from the chaos of the Iraq War and the Syrian civil war, sides largely in the territories across the Iraq and Syria. ISIS fighters came not only from the Middle East, but from more than 80 other countries worldwide, including Europe, Central Asia, North America. Thousands of men and women joined ISIS. During the attack and the genocide that was committed against Yazidi, they killed thousands of men and women, also kidnapped over 6,000 women and girls, subjected to the sexual slavery, rape, and also young boys were taught to become a soldier of ISIS. Many survivors remain displaced to this day. Today's guest is Suzan Khairi. She is a Yazidi author whose life and work have been deeply shaped by the genocide. Suzan, welcome, and thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you so much for having me. Actually, it's an honor to be on your podcast today, and I hope it goes well. Thank you.
Thank you. For listeners who might be hearing about the Yazidi for the first time, what does it mean to be Yazidi, and what was lost when ISIS attacked your community?
First of all, I think the whole world knows about Yazidis from the latest genocide that happened in 2014, which was something that we will never forget, and all the humanity will not forget about. Our community were subjected to brutal crimes such as genocide and war crimes, crimes against humanity, all the international crimes that are prohibited internationally. Our girls were captured and raped, and they called them Sabaya, which is something very heavy to say, but that was the reality, unfortunately. And our kids, after kidnapping them, they teach them how to kill their own people, saying that those people are kuffara and you have to kill them. They brainwashed them. Till now, many Yazidis are living in the camps, not knowing what to do in their lives. A lot of them can't go back to Sinjar because they're like the essential, like the essential or the basic rights of life. They don't have it there. For example, if you go to Sinjar, you want to live there. There's no electricity, there's no internet, there's no water, like a clean water. And even like if all these things, if we say these things doesn't matter, we have a bigger issue, which is we don't have one administration there.
Yeah.
in Sinjar, which is something that really make people angry and frustrated. And also, if we talk about our girls, till now we have so many of our girls in captivity.
Yeah.
They are still suffering with ISIS members or whoever. If we talk about Yazidis, these are Yazidis, but this is like the dark side of the story. But if we talk about the bright side of it, Yazidis are known for their resilience and also being a very peaceful group, religious group. They love everybody, they wish peace and love for everyone in this world, like even in our rituals and in our qawls. We say qawls, it means like it's a religious, text. We say we hope the good for all humanity and then for us as Yazidis. And I think this explains everything about my religion.
It's, as I mentioned in the beginning, for centuries you have been persecuted. Right now, they are still, as you said, in the camps. I want to go back to when the genocide was committed to Yazidi. How did it feel seeing that ISIS members come also from Europe, Northern America, and not just men, also women committed genocide against Yazidi?
Actually, we as Yazidis, because we were like living in village here in Iraq, we didn't like all we knew about Europe and other people like in Western countries. We will say they are all like peaceful people. They like all the humanity and these stuff. When we knew about that, we were like really shocked how like a German or a Belgium or etc. like from all these countries will come and do or commit these crimes. Of course, here we are not saying it's all Germans or all Belgium, etc. But it's about people, right? Like we not just in these countries, all countries in the world, we have psychopaths, we have terrorists, we have criminals. But if I talk as a Yazidi, I say we were shocked and we didn't expect it, to be honest. But given my book is talking about a German
Yeah, we're going to talk
ISIS
about
member.
your latest novel because ISIS,
Yeah,
Islamic State, recruited young men and women, brainwashed them from across the world.
that's
So
right.
they've been
That's right.
traveling through Turkey, going to Syria and Iraq. But they were not just men, they were also women that committed crime,
Exactly.
which you have the story in your book, and we will go and talk later about this. What does, so because Germany has persecuted, there was some detention against
Yes,
ISIS members for
yes.
crimes against Yazidi. But what does justice mean to survivors? Is it punishment, recognition, memory, or something else?
So here we can talk about something very important that I wish to discuss it and talk about it. It's really important when it comes to compensation and justice. It's something that will like it will not vanish what happened, but it will help at least to feel like we matter. We as Yazidis also are human beings and people care for us. It will matter. It will make the victims, or it's better to say survivors, feel better. And also, like if we talk about it, it's really something that we are grateful for the German government and also others. I think the last one was the Belgian government doing that, having tribunals to do that. I'm really grateful for it and thankful. But here I think we can talk about maybe Iraq
Yeah.
not doing
Yeah.
anything about this.
Can we go back to your novel, a story of a German ISIS member and her Yazidi victim is based on a true story? At what point did you realize that writing a fiction was the only way to tell the truth? And so the world was not fully hearing about Yazidis. So tell us a little bit about the story and your decision to write about it.
Okay, so actually, how I came to this idea to write a novel about it, it was like I was one day in United States of America, and a girl asked me, about my religion. She said, "What is Yazidi, or what is the Yazidi religion?" I said, "We are a minority in Iraq, etc." Like I talked about my religion. She was so sad about that. She said, "As far as I know, Yazidis worship devil." I was like, "No, who said that?" Right? So I was like, okay, we have a lot of people who are talking on behalf of Yazidis, saying like Yazidis are worshiping God and Yazidis are a religion, etc. But no one is hearing because news are boring, right? No one wants to hear news. So when it comes to novels or movies or this or series, they will be more passionate to hear about it, to read it, right? So that's why I said, yeah, I have to write a novel about it, and a short one, so that people will read and know who are Yazidis, what happened to us. Like my main goal is to tell the world what happened to us, for them to help us prevent another genocide from happening.
The story on your book the center of the story is a 5-year-old Yazidi girl. Tell us
Yes.
a little bit about this case.
So this girl, I will not tell like her real
You don't
name.
have to reveal the name, yes, just the story.
Yes. So this girl, like she was a 5-year-old Yazidi girl living peacefully and happily with her family of four in Kocho village in Sinjar, and like as all other families. And then when ISIS, sorry, and then when ISIS attacked Shingal on 3rd of August, they were like her father were killed, and she was captured with her mother and little brother. The story, I don't want to talk about like the whole story, but because she was like a kid, she's 5-year-old kid, and we all know how a 5-year-old kid will behave, right? There was like an ISIS member. She was a German ISIS member with her ISIS husband. He was from Iraq originally, and they killed her just for her crying. She said she told her husband, "Oh, she's so annoying. She's crying a lot. If you don't kill her, I will kill her. Like I hate her crying all the day." And she's a 5-year-old girl.
And she is a German. Her husband is from Middle East, Iraq, right?
Yes, he's
Both
from Iraq.
ISIS members, and the German person, she killed the little girl. And I know
She
that this was
ordered.
all over the news, and the
Yeah.
Germany, then they are detained now,
Yes.
this couple.
Yes.
So for more than 10 years now, since the genocide took place, and many Yazidi are still, as you said, displaced. More than 10 years after the genocide, many Yazidis are still displaced. What does survival look like today for Yazidi?
So, as I said, my people are currently living, not all of them, but the majority are living in the camps here in Kurdistan region of Iraq, and a lot of them feel like they are going to unknown, don't knowing what's next in their life. They can't go back to Sinjar because, as I said, there's nothing there, no administration, no, some will say no security. And also, the Iraqi government said you can go back and we will give you 4 million Iraqi dinars, which is nothing. Like it's about 3K dollars. You can't fix anything with that, right? So no compensation, no justice, no security, nothing. How they will return home? So they are just living in these camps, bad conditions, and now it's winter, as you know. For my community, they are currently living in a very bad conditions in the camps. In here in Kurdistan region of Iraq, people here are very nice to to Yazidis, but it's not about that. It's about them living in the camps for about 11 years, which is something unacceptable. How to be like an IDP in your own country for 11 years? This is something that made all the Yazidis very frustrated, sad. Like even a lot of Yazidis say, are we like human beings? Do you consider us human beings? This is something that make them very sad, and they can't return. They can't return home because there's nothing there. Some will say there's no security, there is no administration there, and like even the basics, there is nothing. Like before 1 week, I was talking with a friend via WhatsApp, and the call ended, and he said it's because of the internet. We don't have a good internet here. Yeah. And we are living in AI era. So how someone like doesn't have access to a good internet? So this is what Yazidis do in IDP camps, and like even in Sinjar, those people who returned to Sinjar, they didn't got any compensation. They didn't received any other support from the Iraqi government. And this is about the IDP. And about the Yazidi refugees in European countries. They are very afraid from being deported because, as you know, right now in a lot of European countries, they are calling for deportation of many refugees, and including Yazidis, unfortunately, even though they know that they were like they faced a genocide before. So how they just simply to send them back without any guarantees that they will be safe?
How many Yazidis are living right now in the camps in Iraq? What is the number?
Actually, I can't say the exact number, but there are so many Yazidis who are living.
And Iraqi government doesn't provide anything for them.
Like even if they provide something, it's like very basic things. Like it's not something that really helps them. For example, the Iraqi government said, we will close the camps. You go back to your homeland and we will give you 4 million Iraqi dinars, which is about 3K. Don't imagine how you will go back to
Survive.
a region that you faced a genocide before there, and just the government gives you $3K. This is nonsense.
There is also, if we can go back a little bit, at the northern part of Syria, where there are Kurdish community in fight with Turkey, and you also have Yazidis who are being brainwashed from also Kurdish PPK. So can you tell us more about how they are being used for their own agenda?
You mean the Yazidis?
Yes.
So yeah, because the Yazidis, like Yazidi community, after 2014, there was like a genocide. A genocide happened. People were displaced in their own country. People were poor, and they didn't have anything. So, like, even if it was not Yazidis, anyone else there, they would say yes to, like, even if it's not PKK, if another, like, militias, right? And they say they will come and tell them, we will give you a salary. If you have a surgery or a medical condition, we will help you with it. You're like, okay, that's perfect. Like, now I will have a salary, I will have a, all, like, an insurance, you know,
There are methods
insurance.
to recruit them, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like they were brainwashed by this, you know, these things because they were poor. They survived the genocide. That was the matter. Because as I told you, Yazidis are very peaceful people. We hate the wars. We don't like to engage in any kind of criminal acts. But for that matter, it wasn't in their hands. It was something they couldn't, like they didn't have another option with it.
Yeah. So can you tell us more about what happened to these girls that were kidnapped by ISIS?
So the Yazidi girls that were kidnapped by ISIS, some of them is not released but survived after years of from captivity, and so many of them are still in captivity till now.
And they are used as the sex slaves by the ISIS
Yes,
members.
yes, they were raped and used as sex slaves by them. They would sell and buy them. Like even I heard the story that a Yazidi girl were sold with just like a cigarette. Just imagine, she's a human being. She's a girl and she has dignity and she's a very peaceful person. She didn't hurt anyone. So that's why I said justice is very important for our as Yazidis.
And you also look towards Western countries to help you. It's been a silence when it came to Yazidi and the genocide committed by Islamic State. Is there any part of the Western countries organization, UN agency that has its focused into helping Yazidi community?
Really, we as Yazidis, we are very thankful and grateful for all people and organizations, countries who helped us. But I will say it wasn't enough. Because till now we have girls in captivity. Our people are living in the camps. We all know, me like as a international law master student, I'll say it was a genocide. What happened was a genocide. Until now, no one, like there is nothing from ICC, and there's like as we all know, the Security Council could refer the case of Yazidis to ICC, but it didn't happen. This was something that I hope that happened before, but it didn't, unfortunately, because Iraq, as we know, it's not the state party at Rome Statute and like an ICC, and it's not willing to do that. So it's just us Yazidis being like we faced the genocide. They raped our girls, killed our men, and used our boys in their savage crimes, and then nothing happened. People say, yeah, just forget about it. This is something very sad, to be honest, in this world.
How many girls are still in captivity in ISIS? By ISIS?
So many of our girls are still in
What
captivity.
number? Is it?
To be honest, I can't give you the exact number, but so many of our girls are still in captivity in Iraq, Syria, Turkey, and other countries.
Except Germany that has detained its own citizens, that they were part and members of ISIS. How do you see other part of the Western countries not really dealing with their own people? Because many of the ISIS members were returned to their own countries and nothing really happened about the crimes that they committed.
I can't say anything about that because, as I said before,
But as a lack of interest of the Western countries to deal with this genocide that was committed against Yazidi.
So many of the Western countries recognized what happened to Yazidis as a genocide, but it was just like a political
statement. But is that enough?
No, of course it's not enough. Of course it's not enough. That's why I'm saying, like, even if the ICC and the Security Council and these international bodies are not doing anything for Yazidis, so how we will say why maybe like a country here in Middle East didn't do anything for us? I think it's nonsense, okay? But for now, I think it's better to focus on not just international community, because we as Yazidis don't feel like they will do anything for us because it's been like 11 years from the genocide. So we're currently working on integrating the international crimes into Iraqi law because we don't have these crimes in our criminal penal code. So we are trying to integrate it into it. Hopefully that we will have maybe national or hybrid courts to like have a justice at the end.
How hard it is for Yazidi community to work closely with Iraqi government and seek or ask or aim for these changes in the.
Actually, like it's really hard because, as you know, in democratic countries such as Iraq, and like having a parliament, and we have a lot of political parties here, and a lot of different interests. So it's very hard to pass this law, but we currently am one of them. We're working on the law, and hopefully. It will pass.
You personally wrote 2 novels trying to raise awareness on what happened to Yazidi. Do you have hopes that things will change?
Yes, I hope that everything will change at the end, because as a person, I believe in the good in the humanity. Like, even if there is a person that is a peaceful and believes in in good, I think at the end we will reach what are we working now for.
And despite the books that you published, what are you working now on?
So for now, I'm working with an international organization called GRC. We work on the Yazidi case, like it's an investigation, international and national investigation team. We try to collect evidences on what happened to us as Yazidis, and we hope that there will be courts and we will reach the justice at the end.
I have one question regarding the young boys, Yazidi boys that were recruited by ISIS. What happened to them? Were they released? Were they still in ISIS? Because since 2014, if they were young, if they were 7, 8, 10, it's been 11 years now.
Some of them were survived ISIS, and others maybe we don't know what happened to them. Maybe they were killed, or I don't know. But for those who are survived, some of them are currently living in Canada, Australia, Germany, and I know they are traumatized. They feel very bad for what happened to their communities. They are sad, but they are living in good conditions with those governments. For example, one of them, I don't want to mention names, but he's currently living in a Western country and he's very happy living there. And he's also working as an activist to tell the world about what happened to Yazidis and to say that we will reach the justice. So if he can say that, I can say that too.
The girls that are still under captivity by ISIS, are they in contact with their families? Is there any way to reach out to them?
Actually, not all of them, but of course there are several girls and women that their family can reach out to them, and we as Yazidi community are working hard via social media and other platforms to tell them that we as Yazidis and the community, we welcome you again in the community, and we respect you. You are important to us and we want you to be back. So
because there might be also an hesitation from them to come back because they've been used as a sex slave and being raped. So they might feel that they are going to be judged and not being integrated into the community.
Exactly. That's why we are working so hard on that thing. Even when a girl comes from captivity, we take them to Lalish. It's our main temple. We take them there and we welcome them and do everything to make them feel. And then we share these videos via social media and even in TV channels just for them to see and know that they are very welcome again in their community.
Are there cases when their family refused to have them back?
No, not at all.
Yeah, so that's very important.
Yes.
What is your message about the international community?
I just want to tell the international community, please don't forget about us, Yazidis. The Iraqi government currently is not caring about Yazidis at all. They are living in the camps. They are like in a very bad conditions and they feel like no one is caring about them. So please don't forget about us because we are peaceful religion, peaceful people. We wish the good for everyone. So please support us and help us. Like even if it's not, if you say we can't like do like a just when it comes to justice and ICC and these stuffs. If they say it's hard, okay, I can get it, but please do something for Sinjar. Please help us to rebuild our village to make it a place that we can live in.
What happened to the Yazidi was not an accident of war. It was a genocide, planned, systematic, and enabled by global silence.
Yes.
The Yazidi did not disappear, they survived.
Yes.
But survival is not the same as justice.
Yes.
So for more than a decade later, thousands remain missing, and many perpetrators walk free. So the entire families are still displaced from their homeland. But the trauma did not, as you said, end it in 2014. It lives on in memory and in exile and in the fight to be heard.
Exactly.
But stories like yours tells it's matters because genocide does not begin with killing. It begins with dehumanization and indifference.
Yes.
So when the world looks away, violence finds space to grow. So remembering the Yazidi is not only about the past. So we hope that the international community will do more and raise awareness and try and press Iraqi government to do more for this community.
Yeah, the pressure from the international community on the Iraqi government is it's very important for now.
Suzan, thank you so much for sharing your story, and I hope that our listeners and viewers will share this story to raise awareness, especially among the authorities that are in the position that they can do better, that they can take decision and change this reality. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for you, my dear. Thank you.
Thank you.